All right, let's talk about data governance. I know it might not sound like the most exciting topic, but it's quietly moved out of the IT basement and right into the boardroom. We're going to break down how you can flip the script and turn your company's data from a hidden liability into a real competitive advantage. Let's dive in.
So what's this number? $12.8 million. Well, according to Gartner, that's the average annual cost of bad data quality to just one company. Think about that for a second. It's like a silent tax that's constantly eating away at your profits, slowing you down, and creating huge risks you can't even see. That's the price of doing nothing.
And this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. See, data governance is not something you fix by just buying a new piece of software. It's a fundamental shift in how your business runs, how it makes decisions, and how it values information. It's all about culture and getting everyone on board with the idea that data is part of their job.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the sheer size of the data problem. Then we'll lay out a blueprint for creating value. We'll talk about the people who make it happen, the real ROI you can expect, a roadmap to get it done, and finally, how you build a data culture to make it all last.
So let's start with the problem itself, because unless you truly understand the financial hit you're taking, it's really easy to just keep pushing this down the priority list. We need to quantify the risk.
The scale here is just staggering. We start with that $12.8 million loss for the average company, but then you zoom out, and IBM estimates that bad data costs U.S. businesses a mind-blowing $3.1 trillion every year. And this is not some abstract concept. Look at Unity Software. They watched their market cap drop by over $4 billion because of data issues that hit their bottom line. The risk is very, very real.
This is such a powerful way to think about it. It's called the 110-100 rule, and it shows why you have to get this right from the very beginning. Fixing a data mistake the moment it's entered, that might cost you $1. Waiting to clean it up once it's already in your systems, now you're looking at $10. But letting that bad data get out to your customers or influence a big decision, that's a $100 problem easy. And that's not even counting the damage to your reputation.
Okay, so the problem is big, it's scary, and it's expensive. Got it. Now let's talk about the solution. Let's get into the strategic framework that not only manages that risk, but actually turns it into a source of value. We're talking about master data governance.
So what is master data governance, or MDG, really? It's not a tool you can buy off a shelf, it's a business discipline. It's the process of making sure that your most critical data, your list of customers, your product catalog, is the exact same accurate, trusted information no matter where you look, whether it's in your sales software or the new AI model you're building.
To make this concept really practical, you can think of it as standing on 4 foundational pillars. Like the legs of a table, you need all 4 of them to support the whole structure and make it work day to day.
Pillar number 1 is trust. This is all about creating one single source of truth, a golden record for your most important data. When you have trust, your team stops wasting countless hours arguing about whose numbers are right, and they can just focus on making good, fast decisions.
The second pillar is accountability. This is huge. This is where the finger-pointing and the blame game finally stop. You give clear ownership to people called data stewards for each area. So if there's a problem with product data, you know exactly who is on the hook to get it fixed. It's that simple.
Pillar 3, responsible use, is your shield. It's all about protecting your customers' sensitive information and making dead certain that you're compliant with all the big regulations out there, things like GDPR or HIPAA. This isn't just a good idea, it's a critical business requirement.
And the final pillar is efficiency. Now, this one is so important because good governance should make your business faster, not slower. It's about automating all that routine manual work. Instead of people passing spreadsheets back and forth, you have automated workflows. This removes bottlenecks and lets your business move at the speed of trusted data. So we have our framework, but a framework is just a bunch of ideas on paper without the right people to bring it to life. Technology can help, for sure, but success really comes down to having the right people in well-defined roles. At the very top, you absolutely need an executive sponsor. And this can't be an IT role, it has to be a respected senior leader from the business side. This person is your champion. They're the one who fights for resources, clears roadblocks, and keeps reminding everyone why this is so important for the business strategy. Backing up that sponsor, you've got the Data Governance Council. Just think of this as the program's steering committee. It's a group of leaders from across the company, from both business and IT, who make the tough calls, oversee the program, and settle any disputes.
They make sure governance is happening consistently everywhere. And then you have the data stewards. Honestly, these are your most valuable players on the ground. They are the subject matter experts who actually work in the business, in sales, in finance, and they are the ones accountable for the quality of the data in their area, day in and day out.
Now we get to the part that every C-suite executive really cares about, the return on investment. Let's pivot from the how to the why and talk about the real, tangible financial value that a solid data governance program actually delivers.
When it comes down to it, the financial impact really breaks into three main buckets, what you can see right here. It's about saving money, making your people way more productive, and, this is the exciting part, opening up new ways to grow revenue that you just couldn't access before.
So let's get specific. Cost savings comes from things like avoiding massive regulatory fines. Productivity skyrockets because your data analysts are actually analyzing, not just cleaning up messy data all day. But the real game changer is new revenue. Trusted data is the fuel for AI. It lets you actually cross-sell to customers effectively. And get this, research shows that organizations who get this right are 23 times more likely to acquire new customers. 23 times.
And if you need one number, just one, to take back to your team, here it is, 401%. An IDC study found that's the average 3-year ROI for data initiatives that are built on a foundation of governed, trusted data. This is not a cost center, it is a massive value driver.
Now, a number like 401% might sound a little out of reach, but getting there is way more manageable than you might think. The key is, you don't have to boil the ocean. A smart, phased approach makes this whole thing achievable and starts delivering value pretty quickly.
Here's the simple 3-phase roadmap. In the first 4 months or so, you just build the foundation. You get your counsel and your key roles in place, and you lock down policies for one critical area, like customer data. Then you move into expansion, where you take what you learned and roll it out to other areas. And finally, you get to optimization. This is where you automate workflows, you start to really measure your ROI, and you get your data ready for the advanced stuff, like AI.
We started this whole conversation by saying data governance is a culture change, and that's exactly where we need to end. Because you can have the best technology in the world and the most perfect processes, but if it doesn't become part of your company's DNA, it's just not going to last.
To make it stick, you have to focus on building data literacy. That means you have to constantly talk about the wins to show everyone the value. You need to educate people so they understand their part in the bigger picture. You have to train them. What marketing needs is different from what finance needs. And most critically, you have to empower your data stewards. They are your champions who will drive this from the ground up.
And so that brings us to the final question. After all of this is the choice every single company is facing right now. Is your data a hidden, multi-million-dollar liability just waiting to cause a problem? Or is it your greatest strategic asset? The clean, trusted fuel that's going to power your growth for years to come. The choice is yours.